Chapter 1. Growing up as Lucas in Ontario is quite challenging. It would probably be the same or worse anywhere else. Being a 21 years old business course graduate, father of one, I feel ambition can separate you from people you love at times. To me, everyone looks at their people as the chosen and fear that others will corrupt them with their ways. However, only vanity is a concern. Regardless of what anyone says about me, I like to view myself as a soldier and want to be a part of something great. A person, does not matter what race, that goes through a lot to stand up for what they believe in is inspiring. Many people go with the flow of life, then realize there is a contradiction in the system. We need wrongs for there to be rights. I rather live in a small village. I mainly use technology to network. This is the story of how I ended up acquiring a cinema. Having a routine that is depriving feels mentally and physically tiring. Oxygen is a key component in the process of combustion and will increase the intensity of a fire. After receiving my gift, my son, I knew I had to work my job as a forklift driver much more, at least 40 hours per week, maybe even find something better. My desire to work for myself grew much bigger. I did both, and that started to get in the way of my love life. Money was supposed to solve that issue, but it did not. Probably because income just started accumulating now. I have been paying to learn. Chapter 2. Another day at work consisted of conversational practice. "Lady, you are shaped so well that I wish I could put a statue of you in my living room," were the words that I said to a customer. "Do you have to harass every guest you find attractive, lustful, heart palpitations are taking over your life?" boomed Barbara. She was my coworker. Her suggestion seeming aggressive and intimidating got me thinking. I was rehearsing my compliments for that special someone. Perfect humor at its finest. Working customer service at the gym is a hard task, especially when cognitive empathy is all that runs through my veins. I better keep that last notion to myself. Barbara does not need to add conceited to the list of character traits she has describing me. Upper or lower body day was her next question. Another training session to make Joseph jealous sounds exasperating. I gave Barbara a look. My boyfriend is accepting of us working out together. Why would I want to do anything to frustrate him? She gave me a tempting look back. I shook my head and laughed, probably because this woman is a controlling mastermind trying to capture the souls of as many of her peers as possible. Lauren, another coworker of ours, came around the counter and clocked in for work right on time. In support of my thoughts, she was also shaking her head while smiling at Barbara. I decided to take myself away from the discussion before it turned into a debate. "Leg day in an hour," I proposed as the staff room became my destination. That must have made Barbara happy because Lauren was able to let her know how she can see Barbara's fascination for me. I believe I was referred to as a work boyfriend. He is just my trainer, a very motivating one, and you need to stop. "That is how rumors begin," said Barbara. "Well put, we still do not want her actual boyfriend hearing about such stimulation. I meant to say motivation. When we first started working out together, she told me Joseph recognizes that they cannot be together every single minute of the day. Plus, she and I already work together. Training is just like overtime. Lauren thinks Barbara is so amazing. She wants romance at the job, too. Watch and learn is the famous saying that is frequently repeated around here. An hour had passed. The clinking of the weights caught my attention as I started stretching as masculine as I could just in case they were watching. Squats is a good exercise to start off with. Let us get right to it, I thought. We always begin with that. The only muscles you surprise are in my brain, declared Barbara. She is so witty and assertive. I decided to change the topic and ask her if she was going to the Creative Arts Festival 19 that weekend. It depended on if her sister was because Joseph could not find the time. Your dear Lucas was going for sure, so good for me. I enjoyed hanging out with Barbara and had business to conduct over there. Chapter 3. Several months passed since the last time I saw her sister Tammy. She was one of those girls who were in a rush to grow up. Wanting to do everything her older friends deemed cool was always the agenda. For example, just turning 19 years old a few weeks ago meant finding the bar as soon as we got to the festival. "We just got here. What is going on? Is there something you need counseling for? Barbara asked her. Tammy thought that was the way to make the most of the festival. In her mind, based on two stories, she had it that her older sister enjoyed intoxicated fun. Both of these times, Barbara was vomiting out her guts after just 2 hours, so I wonder if Tammy noticing the over-exaggeration will be a good thing. Those stories are definitely not worth starting a competition out of. I was ordering a spring salad with raspberry dressing, dried out cranberries, and on the side a buttered jalapeno bagel, accompanied by nothing else. Barbara crept up on me at the food truck. Oh, accompanied by so fancy. You are such a professional, she whispered. I'm going to pay with whatever you are offering, I replied. Not liking my reply at all, she declared loudly that she was not offering anything. Tammy chuckled. See someone knows, I said while collecting my order from the cook. Barbara sneered, should have got chicken, you jerk. Realizing the temperature of the dialogue rising, I chose to let it pause on that note. There is nothing wrong with being a vegetarian some days instead of every day. She loves to call me a joker. That must be her way of giving me a hint on how much she is infatuated with me. I like to rebut serious. Dating a girl who owes another man loyalty cannot be good for my karma. Tammy decided to branch off from us and go explore the festival with someone else. I pointed out a glow-in-the-dark tent that did not have many people experiencing it. Barbara knew there were water paintings and an aquarium she really wanted to view inside. As we entered, I heard from an employee at the front door, on how to my surprise I came prepared due to the fact my shoes were glowing. Chapter 4. The tent was the size of a school bus, and that is how it felt. After we walked up 3 steps, an aquarium was under our feet. Many paintings hung one after the other in front of us. Some are magnificent and very realistic. Wow, what was that? Barbara disclosed. Well, I've been reflective all my... I tried to get out. No, not you, big head. I just slightly kicked something as I was walking, communicated Barbara. It was a pouch. Eagerly, I envisioned value as I picked it up. Probably garbage or belongs to someone we know. Unnecessary work is not for me, she said. Discovering diamonds, I replied, finder is the keeper. Barbara did not believe me until spotting the attempt to put the pouch in my pocket. Now she wanted to see. The expensive rocks activated her nervousness. This is too good to be true, she cried. I was not going to let her ruin this for me. No, this is a life-changing moment for us. Stay calm, let us find your sister and go home, I told her. She got stuck on us. Being excited, a leader, and considerably good with my words, I made sure the plan was executed. On our way to the parking lot, I noticed a man in a black suit with a look of suspicion on his face. Tammy wanted to know why we were in such a rush. We ignored her because of the shock received from the situation. Arriving at Barbara's house, we had to figure out what to do next. Her sister did not care anymore. She called us weird and slammed the car door before going upstairs. Thinking out loud, I suggested we split up and then regroup the following day. Why would you abandon me at a time like this? Barbara questioned, worried and confused. At that very moment, her phone rang. It was Joseph. Oh my goodness, I cannot even answer my boyfriend's call right now, she sighed. I told her to use voicemail and that we could pull ourselves together at the Quality Inn Hotel for one night. Chapter 5. Our room we got from the hotel was just as magical as the school bus feeling tent. It had to be all the glass doors, sparkly tiles, and the bouquet of flowers on the dresser, making the atmosphere romantic. Lover's Rock Suite is what is read on one of the pamphlets. I wondered if Barbara saw that, a strange coincidence or subconsciously done purposely. What is going on, my love? I have not heard from you in days, ever since I told you no. Are we still watching a movie at your house tonight? Maybe something important came up. You are being distant. Call me back. That was the voicemail Joseph left on Barbara's phone. I laughed and mocked him. Stop, this is serious. He can sense my mind is occupied with other interests. I do not think about him as much anymore, she maintained. Then just tell him your heart is next, I replied. Well, true love never dies, she wondered. I responded, time kills living things all the time. Can your faith defeat your imagination? Do you choose money over all your relationships? Anything can happen in a day, especially when you are taking risks. Oh, she asked, what are you saying right now? I'm following you. Are your intentions sincere? The reason you want to be financially secure is different from everybody else's? Yes, I relayed in awe. Huh? Barbara demanded as the intensity in our locked eyes increased. That is why I want you so bad, I stated, while her lips started to tremble just a little bit. We kissed, and my fingertips on my right hand slipped the strap of her top off her shoulders. The fingers on my left hand started a chapter below the waist I hoped could have gone on forever, like a classic being played on a piano. She sang like an opera star, and her chest tasted like milk chocolate. I might as well have been playing the drums for the ladies since the beginning. We fell asleep without cleaning up. Being 21 years old, I've been through a lot and do not like to compare because there are always people that had it worst. One subject about myself I try to improve on constantly is sexual encounters. Out of the 10 females, at least 7 of them are very pretty like Barbara. None made me try too hard to spark the start of the relationship. They could see I was very paranoid and impatient about life. I did not do my best every time. Experiencing and keeping just one of those intimate connections would have been better for my health. It has always been calm with Barbara. Chapter 6. In the morning, reality came back. We had to go find out how much the diamonds were worth. There is a good chance chasing money will stress you out because time is greater and uncontrollable. Ann Kerr was one of the biggest jewelers in the city. They are very well known with a lot of famous customers. I knew the store owner, Rick, from past purchases of gold. He wasted no time giving us an appraisal on the diamonds and asked no questions about where we got them. Maybe he trusted me, probably assumed I was a criminal by the way I dressed or my body language. Barbara was impressed. You should have seen her face when he told us $100,000 for the pouch. I can imagine mine when he put the money in my hands. Exiting the jewelry store, life seemed to be moving in slow motion. "Be safe," Rick yelled out. Across the street there was a sign that read, "Theater for Sale." Barbara and I sat back in the car. There was a mini book about spirit animals placed on the floor of the passenger side. My favorite animals are birds and lions. They represent freedom to me. I am one of those people who look at everyone as family, take the letter B off of the word bro, and replace it with a C because I believe we all are cousins. That might be wrong, like stirring the pot, or good, like giving people a sense of hope. I wrote the contact information for the theater being sold on the spirit animal book. Big plans fill my mind all the time. Bang, bang, bang. Before Barbara could question me about my most recent actions, gunshots terrorized the parking lot across the street. By the look on her face, I estimated that she was not used to that type of chaos. You could not hear or see from civilians in the close vicinity of the incident. Imagination traumatizes, and most definitely during situations like this one. It was not an occurrence I lacked experience of, so my focus stayed on Barbara. I picked up her hand as I suggested we go back to the hotel to continue exploring what life had in store for us. Chapter 7. Sitting in the room looking at myself in the mirror, thinking about possible future outcomes, I knew I had to decide if it would be right to treat Barbara fair, like an investment or a loose end. Who that guy was in the black suit at the festival when we were leaving riddled my mind, too. How long will it take to get this theater functioning the way I want? I said aloud. Studying my possible new girlfriend was in my best interests. Even though she did not officially end the relationship with her current boyfriend, honesty seems to pour out in ours. Barbara's feelings for me were something I could trust, at least for now. She was extremely nervous and needed me to get through this period of her life. Attraction also motivated me very much to be patient. Then finally that gorgeous woman asked gently, "So a cinema is the plan for our money?" I loved and noticed how she said our. We were a team. "I'm going to call the phone number right now," I replied. "Roseanne from Toronto Real Estate," answered a familiar lady. What a small world, I thought. "Rose who?" I responded. She repeated herself professionally. "This is Lucas Parker, interested in the sale of a movie theater," I stated. Even if the memory of who I was there, she still kept it professional. I respected that. The cinema turned out to be independent, privately owned, and cost $500,000. Due to a confidential reason from the owner, 10% of the price would initiate a special payment plan for the right person. I scheduled an appointment with Rose for the following Monday afternoon. After coming off of the phone, numbers immediately started flowing through my brain. A third of the $100,000 to Barbara, a third for myself, and the rest saved. Sounded like a good plan to me. Observing how she spent her portion of the money seemed beneficial. That brief conversation between Rose and I must have ignited the room. Barbara's mood changed substantially for the better. My mind could not think about anything other than my scheduled appointment until I was given a beautiful sight to behold. Now the work of art was sitting in my hands. I caressed her while constantly saying, "Welcome to a fresh start." What possessed me to do that? I have no idea. The look in Barbara's eyes was fierce, as if she was trying to take control of me. It turned me on more. Then finally I kept hearing, "I believe you." That made me zone out on all the softness, warmth, and comfort of her body. I was released.